Hey, you want to learn the fnaf lore? Well, I'll teach you it. This will be split into like a couple parts. So yeah, here's the first part. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is made by two people: William Afton, the co-owner, and Henry Emily, the other co-owner. Now the reason why Henry Emily and William Afton, I'll just call them Willie and Henry, was because they wanted to not embrace, but do the two things they loved most, which is family-friendly fun and animatronic technology. Now, it didn't start with Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It started with a diner called Fredbear's Family Diner with two animatronics, Red Bear and Spring Bonnie. It was all a happy fun time. Henry had one kid and a loving wife. The kid's name was Charlie, Emily, and William Afton had a loving wife and three kids. The three kids' names were Michael Afton, Elizabeth Afton, and Crying Child. We don't know the names, Crying Child's name, so I'll just call him CC. Now, William Afton was neglecting his children, and he made Michael babysit the crying child. And Michael didn't like that, so he bullied the crying child because the crying child saw something, and it was his dad stuffing a person into a suit. He actually wasn't stuffing a person into a suit. It was actually just putting the head onto someone because they had spring lock suits. We'll get into that in the next part. And ever since he saw that, Michael had this foxy head and he had been traumatized. Not Michael, the CC crying child. And Michael had that foxy head and was like, heh, let's make this twink pay when it was not CC's fault, it was William's fault, Willie's. But anyways, he kept bullying him, and he even got that he didn't have any friends, which is sad. But really, he was just crying, which I don't blame him. He was young. So the crying child had these plushies of the animatronics, which he was not afraid of. Apparently not the plushies, of course, because they're adorable. But anyways, he would have this imaginary friend, which some people call him psychic friend Fredbear, but we'll just call him friend bear. So whenever Michael would jump scare CC, the crying child, Friend Bear would come out and comfort him, saying, tomorrow is another day. And to be honest, tomorrow was another day, but he just kept getting jump scared until one day the crying child CC had it was his birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to him. But it was a tragic incident. Michael also brought three of his friends, which really, man, and CC was just living his white life, crying under a table, and Michael and his friends found him, took him, and was like, oh yeah, let's take him to Fredbear. I think he wants to give Fredbear a big kiss. Spoiler alert, he did not. They lifted him up into Fredbear's head and chomp. And no, Mark, it was not the bite of 87. Blood was probably everywhere. Not probably. Blood was everywhere. And yeah, it was just awful. They were laughing for a second before the head jumped down. When the head jumped down, they stopped laughing. The crying child did not survive. He was in the hospital for like, I think, a couple hours or a day. He just died. And yeah, that's it for part 1. I'm gonna do part 2 soon, probably. Yeah. Anyways, bye.